And we're live. Eek! Awesome. So welcome to our team call. It is already the 17th, so we're halfway through the month. You guys, so many of us have points up on the board for Success Club, and I believe, like, in my heart of hearts, that you can get 3 people. Like, even if you already have 2 people, you can get 3 more people. Anyone can get 3 people to join them. It's just about putting your head down, focusing, and just inviting, and you absolutely can do it. And I want to start off this call. We're going to talk about building a team, different ways to do it, give you some tips, tricks, verbiage, all that good stuff. I'm going to kind of interview Rachel because so that way you're getting viewpoints from somebody else other than just me. Rachel's been kind of killing it, and so hopefully you'll learn something new that maybe I haven't been able to teach you. But what I wanted to start off with, I had 2 different conversations today with girls on our team. I don't see either of them on. And I was talking about the potential in this vision, and I realized that I had never really expressed that to everyone. And so I'm going to take Lindsay Matway, for example, because she's the top earner in the company. She's been coaching for, I want to say, 9-ish years. I don't even know exactly how long she's been coaching, but she started from ground zero. And the beauty of this is that everyone starts at the same level at ground zero, and you have the potential to outrun Lindsay Matway. As far-fetched as that may seem, you have that ability because, oops, I click it out of there. This business does not play favorites. Everyone starts at the same ground zero level. It's up to you to, take what you're learning, implement things, try new things, find different trainings on YouTube, whatever it may be. And so I did some major stalking, and I figured out what her income is. And I'll tell you, Lindsay Matway makes over $100,000 every single week. In a week, she makes $100,000 more than that. Annually, as of right now, she makes $6,448,000 annually just from coaching. And she has other side businesses that she does. So I hope that you guys are all jaw dropped and realize that the sky is the limit. You can open up, I don't remember how many business centers it is, but you can earn up to $25,000 a week in one business center. And I honestly think you can open up 25 business centers. I'm not entirely sure what that number is, but that might not mean a lot to you now, but I hope that you can see the really big picture now is that the sky is the limit, you guys. You have so much potential in this business. The market is not saturated. There are so many people out there on Instagram and your warm market people. There's so many people that have no idea what Beachbody is. Okay, you just have to be talking to more people. Open up your mind, believe in yourself, because I promise if you don't believe in yourself, why would anyone else believe in you? Believe that you can do it. Figure out why it is that you want this, and freaking go for $6 million, because this is a 7-figure earning company and you freaking can do it. So now that you see that, I'm gonna unmute Rachel. Let's see. Rachel, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Hear you. Good. We're good to go. So first question, how long have you been a coach?
So I have been a coach, signed up since September of 2017, I believe. And I started working the business probably November or December of 2017.
Awesome. So yeah,
go ahead.
No, because I remember when you first jumped in, we had been talking, you guys, I need you to know that I followed up with Rachel 14 times before she ever joined. So the fortune is in the follow-up 14 times, 14. I followed up with Rachel 14 times because I saw something in her. I felt a connection there. I was not getting, and it wasn't are you ready to join yet? Are you ready to join yet? Are you ready to join yet? I made connections with her and I was genuine and I told her what I saw in her. And I actually went through our conversation about a week or 2 ago because Jamie asked me, she's like, what did you say to Rachel? Because I know you followed up with her a bunch of times. And I sent her screenshots of everything I said to Rachel. And it was a little different every time, but I kept following up with her. And she started with a program and got results. And so she started kind of sharing her journey, and she was kind of a customer first, even though she did sign up as a coach right away. Did you have anything else you wanted to say off of that?
I just wanted to reiterate that you followed up 14 times.
14.
I mean, props to you, Megan. That's great. Thank you.
Okay. And talk a little about, because we push so hard on getting to Emerald like ASAP. You want to get to Emerald as soon as possible, meaning you have 2 coaches underneath you. So who were your first 2 coaches and kind of how did you get them?
So my first 2 coaches, well, actually, I'll back it up a little bit more. I was, to be 100% honest, extremely scared of posting or going into the coaching thing, but I saw the vision behind it, which is what made me kind of put my big girl pants on and move forward from that. So the reason I share that is I didn't work the business at first because first, I didn't really know what I was doing. Second, I was too scared to do it. But then what I started to do is I started to see that like the programs and the products were legit. They were safe. They were awesome. I come from a fitness background. They were better than anything that I could write myself. And I was getting really good results. So I was really excited about it. And I truly loved it at the time. And I still love it. So once I started to like dive into my own experience and like get my own journey to share, that's where my excitement grew, like my authentic, genuine care for it. And I started to reach out to my warm market. So my warm market, I mean like close friends, family, stuff like that. My first 2 coaches ended up being people from my warm market that I had, let's just call them friends. They were friends from my warm market. So they signed up to join me in a challenge group that I think it was one of Megan's challenge groups. I don't even know if I was helping run her challenge group at the time. I think I was. I was posting just a few times. So when I was getting started, Megan kind of took me under her wing and like I just kind of like got the ropes a little bit. As if you haven't heard yet, Megan and I run our challenge groups now very, very differently, and we approach the business super differently. But by joining her challenge group and getting that experience, I figured out kind of like what I like. So really it was just reaching out to friends or people that I had, played sports with, or like bar volleyball, or anybody that I had that personal connection with, and basically said like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I don't know a lot about it yet, but I really like it and I'm getting some good results. Would you be interested in doing this with me? And I might throw an example in sometimes of a connection with them of like, hey, I know we used to play volleyball together. Or, hey, I know we used to go for bike rides together. Or, I saw some pictures of you going for bike rides with your kids. Seems like you're a super active person. I like to be really active too. Not sure if this is something you'd be interested in or not, but I started doing XYZ. I completely love it. Would you be interested in doing it with me? So that's kind of how I approached it at first. And then it kind of progressed a little bit after that, if I answered the question.
So who were your first 2 coaches?
Like their names?
I guess like were they challengers and then they were challengers and then you invited them to coaching?
Okay, so they were challengers that had signed up as coaches for the discount. And when I invited them to do that, really I presented it at all opportunities. I shared how I was doing, how I was a coach for the discount, and just kind of explained to them that they save a lot of money. There's no pressure to do anything with the business, but if they sign up as a coach right away, they waive their activation fee, and it sets them up for success in the future if it's something that they decide they want to go forward with. I remember the people that I reached out to that were my first 2 coaches. I really did believe that they were people that could take the business far, and someday they might. But I remember saying to them, like, if you wanted to, but there's no pressure. If you want to just do this for your own journey, that's fine too. So I always, and I still do this, I still explain all options to people and let them know that I really do think they could be successful in it, but I never push the coaching like business on them at all.
Awesome. I'm just going to switch Wi-Fi's real quick. I think Tyler's playing Xbox. And he's
Does anybody have any questions?
Okay, sorry about that. Okay. So, okay, so you had your first two coaches for just your warm market. You got to Emerald pretty quick, and then eventually you signed, like your mom signed up, and now your husband is a coach, right?
Yep, my husband, I know that works. That approach is super awesome for a lot of people. He was actually one of my newest coaches. So within the last 3 coaches, he's one of the newest coaches. But I love having him as one of my coaches. And if I really took the time to understand the importance of having your spouse as one of your downline coaches, I would have signed him up a lot earlier. He is now a coach. My mom is one of my coaches. And then of course the rest of my coaches come from my warm market and from a cold market now too, which is pretty cool. So I kind of turned some of the cold market people into warm market over a few months. I got to know them really well. They got to know me. Again, my approach is to take as much pressure off, but instill as much belief as possible. So it's more of like, gosh, I really think you could be amazing at this. I'm not going to push this on you if this is not something you are not interested in, or if it's not the right time for you. But I really do think you'd be incredible at this, and you would have so much support. That approach has worked really, really well for me and the people that I've been talking to a lot. But yes, my mom and my husband are one of my coaches, and it's awesome. I work my husband's business. I don't work my mom's business yet, but she really is a team player, so it's pretty helpful.
Awesome.
But I feel a lot of people do start with, their mom and their spouse or their best friend or something like that.
Yeah, no, I think that's really awesome that you dove right into your warm market, those people who know, like, and trust you already, who you went to school with because your, background in kinesiology and fitness background and all of that. So I think that's really awesome. So now, how many coaches on average would you say you bring on each month?
I'd say on average each month now I'm bringing in about 5 coaches, and maybe 1 to 2 of them are what you would consider hobby or business coaches. The rest of them they at least start as a challenger coach or a discount coach. And to be honest, some of those challenger discount coaches have transitioned into somewhat of business coaches over time as they got their own experience. But I'd say on average, it's about 5 coaches every month right now.
Awesome. So, okay, then how many coach invites do you send, whether you track days, weeks, months, or how many coach invites?
So I wrote this down so that I would say it right, because this is something that I really cannot stress more from my personal mistakes and learning the importance of tracking and legitimately tracking what you are doing and self-evaluating what you are doing yourself. Because what I did before is I had an idea in mind. I always had this idea of inviting 10 coaches a day, which I don't know. I don't know what I was doing, but I wasn't keeping track of my numbers. I tried a lot of different approaches for tracking, and I finally found a system that works super well for me. I currently use Teamsy, which I love because it just really helps me keep count of what I'm doing. But right now I invite at least, these are my minimum numbers. Currently I have been doing a lot more than these numbers, but my minimum numbers for inviting is 5 per day of a coach or a challenger. I don't know if that person is going to be a challenger only or a discount coach or a business coach eventually. But that's 5 people every single day, 5 new people every single day that I'm inviting. At the same time, I'm adding 5 new people to my account or to my network every single day, and I'm connecting with them. So I always do an ad with a connect, meaning I will send them a personal message of why I added them so that I'm not a big creep. I don't know if anyone's ever gotten random friend requests, and I'm sure we're all guilty of sending random friend requests. I know I am. But when I get them, I immediately feel turned off from that person if I don't know why they're adding me. So I try to always reflect on how I feel, and I try to make sure I don't make them feel that way. So I'll send them a message. I connect, my market really is younger moms or like fitness professionals, just because that's what I'm super familiar with. So that's kind of who I'm looking for in my connects. But those are my minimum numbers. So I at least invite 5 per challenger / coach, and I add at least 5 per day. I have other numbers too for people that I'm connecting with, just following up with, that kind of stuff. But those are my minimum numbers. Okay, I think something popped up in the chat, so I just wanted to see what that says.
How many specifically coach invites would you say you send a month or a day? Just coaches?
Per day, I would say 3 per day. Again, that's a super minimum number. Usually, to be honest, it ends up being more so between 5 and 10 invites per day, but that's my minimum number because life can happen. So I always have that to fall back on. At least I have that. The reason why I have those numbers and why I came up with that number is there's actually is a little method to the madness. So statistically, and what I have found to be true over time, for about every 10 people that I talk to, about 3 people are going to be interested at that time, and about 1 of those people is likely to turn into a customer or a coach. But those 10 people that I'm talking to or inviting, I'm planting seeds with everybody else. And what I have found by sticking with this for a few months is that those people that I planted seeds with like 5-6 months ago, they are now customers and coaches because they have followed me. They've seen that I'm not going anywhere. They've seen that like I'm actually doing what I'm saying I'm doing. And so there is, even though there might not be that instant gratification of that exact person, it doesn't mean they're not going to join the team later on. It just means it's not the right time for them. So that's kind of where I get those numbers from and why I do that.
Awesome. So do you have like a funnel system? Meaning, do you always present like a challenge group and then funnel them to your challenge group and then invite coaching? Or do you have certain people that you invite to coaching right away?
Well, I do use the funnel system a lot. Basically, with any prospect, so anybody that I see potential in being a customer or a coach, I kind of invite them to my funnel system, which starts off the same for everybody, unless there's like an immediate conversation of interest from them. But I start with like, I'll invite them to a 1-week free group of something. And the purpose behind that free group is for them to get to know me a little bit better and kind of see what I do. Then I transition them into a 2 to 3 week accountability or motivation group. Again, the purpose behind that is to add value to their life, but also to let them know who I am and see what I do. And then usually I'll invite them into my paid customers challenge group. So by then they've had a solid month. Let's say it's a cold market person or someone I haven't connected with in a while. By then they've had a solid month of seeing me every single day, being present, being a product of the product, and just being like a positive person towards them and sharing how I work through stuff. Sometimes it starts a lot earlier, but that's the funnel. And then the people that I'm really looking for that I will invite to be a coach are those people who have been encouraging others or asking questions or been super engaged or checking in to those free groups and the accountability groups and stuff like that. Usually when I sign people up as a paid customer, and by that usually people are starting with challenge packs or Beachbody on Demand, I will always present the coach opportunity with them at that time, because if you're not aware of it yet, when you sign up with a challenge pack as a coach, at the same time, that waives your coach activation fee, which otherwise I believe is $40 on its own. And so I kind of present that as a way for them to save money. And then I will go into the opportunity of the coaching business first and then present the discount, because that's where the real magic is, I guess. So I'll present it in a very non-pushy way, but basically something like, just so you know, by signing up as a coach, you have the opportunity to, make some extra income if that's something that you're interested in. And you would make that extra income by growing your business and doing pretty much the exact same thing with your own twist that I have been doing. So really your purpose is like helping people and helping them reach their goals. And by doing that, you're holding yourself more accountable. It's a great way to make some extra income or turn it into a full-time thing if you're interested. It definitely has helped me in my own accountability, and it does every single day. So if accountability is something that you're kind of struggling with, this could be a great option. Another perk is you also save 25% on your products and your programs. So for Shakeology, since that's something you are interested in, for example, you're going to save 25% on your Shakeology, which is really nice to save that little bit of money. You don't have to go for the business opportunity if you don't want to. You can always transition into that role later on. But by signing up as a coach right away, you're saving yourself a little bit of money and kind of giving yourself that platform to build off of. Another thing I'll kind of go with, if it feels kind of touchy in that conversation, it usually goes very well that way. But if it feels touchy, I will also add in that there is that 30-day money back guarantee. So basically I'll present it as like, you sign up as a coach with this challenge pack, you're setting yourself up for success and to save some money later on if that's something you want to go with. But you could consider it a 30-day like trial period just to test the waters and really give it your all and see what you think. And if at the end of those 30 days you decide that it's not something you want to continue with, then just let me know and I'll help you get your money back. And that kind of just takes the pressure off of them too. And I'll usually also add in like, no harm, you're not going to hurt my feelings if this isn't for you. But I think you're going to completely rock this if this is something you're interested in. That usually works really, really well because they've kind of seen where I want to take where my vision is, the benefits I've personally experienced, what I think it could help them with. And then I instill that belief in them that they could make it work too, but there's no pressure. You know, they already know that if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, and that's fine. That usually helps a lot of people go for it without feeling like there's a ton on the line, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely does. And I love this because, again, Rachel and I present everything completely different. And it's funny because we were joking the other day. I was talking with Rachel about like how different people use different verbiage. And I was like, it would be so funny to see you or to hear you say, listen, girl. Like Rachel just would never say that. And that's absolutely something I would say. Like I'll say that to my friends, like, dude, listen, or girl, like, what the heck are you doing? Listen, or, you know, like I say things like that. So she has her own verbiage and I present that, like I always present the coaching opportunity. Most of the time, I will be honest, I don't present it to every single person because there are some people where I'm genuinely like, I would not want to work with this person, but I'm willing to help them get fitness results. And I want you to know that that's okay. You get to pick who you work with. And yeah, it's important to build your team. And you know, some people are going to surprise you and be rock stars, and a lot of people, I've had so many people who are eager to sign up and then all of a sudden don't do anything, don't respond, and then they cancel their coaching account. I get an email, coach cancellation or whatever. It happens. So over time, I've gotten okay with saying, you know what, I don't think we're a good fit. I have told people no, that I don't think we would be a good fit, and have kind of declined them from being on a team with me because I genuinely would not want to work with that person and genuinely don't think we would be a good fit. However, when I do present the coaching opportunity to someone that I first, you know, we're talking about a challenge group and they're ready to sign up, I'll say something like, oh my gosh, awesome. I'm so excited. Let me grab your link. One quick thing, when you sign up, you also have the option to sign up as a coach right away. As you progress in your journey, you're probably going to start inspiring people and have the opportunity to earn a little extra income on the side. Is that something you'd be interested in? I keep it super short and sweet because for me, I have a short attention span. If you're going to send me a book, I'm not going to read it. You know, some people, it's totally different, but I want things short and sweet to the point. Feel free to ask me questions. I'll give you more answers. I'll battle objections all day. So I just put that out there. You're probably going to get awesome results and going to start to inspire people, and we'll have the opportunity to earn a little extra income on the side. Is this something you'd be interested in? And then usually they'll ask me a couple more questions like, or they'll say something like, I don't know if I can coach anyone. Like, girls, no worries. It doesn't mean you actually have to coach anyone unless you want to. In that case, you can just reap the benefits of getting 25% off any future products or programs. What do you think? And, I just kind of have a conversation with it, and like, they'll say something, I'll respond, and blah, blah, blah. And if at the end they're not interested, no worries. Let me grab your link. Yeah, you are interested. Awesome. Here's your link. You have a coach startup fee that's completely waived when you're doing it this way. Remember, you can cancel at any time. I'm really excited to, start working with you. That's kind of what mine look like. And they're, again, like you can see, they're totally different than how Rachel presents it, because that's my personality and that's how I present things. Okay. Awesome. While we're kind of on this topic too, I watched a training today, an hour or two before this call. Like I said, every day I make it a point to learn something new. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with Kate Morgan. She's been coaching since December, and I think has officially hit, if not almost hit, a 6-figure income. And so she's only been a coach, actively coaching, for 6 or 7 months now. And so I watched her training and just kind of listening how she does things. And I'm going to share that training with you guys, because I think it'll be super beneficial to see another way of inviting and how she does it and how she tracks and everything. And I wrote a couple of things down. So one thing she says, she always invites people to a challenge group and then invites her challengers to coaching. And what she says is, hey girl, people deserve to see that passion. You could help so many people. Have you ever thought about coaching? And I really think that rockstar challengers will make rockstar coaches, because they're loving the programs, they're showing up in your challenge group. So, I often will present the coaching opportunity first, but if you're not as confident in that, go full force for getting challengers, and then just recruit your challengers into the coaching and transition that way. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And then she said, when she has challengers who just totally kind of ghost and aren't posting and like just are absent completely, she'll send them this. Hey, I could never commit to my own journey until I was a coach. So if you ever want more accountability, I think coaching has provided so much for that. And you could also cover the cost of your Shakeology. Is that something you'd be interested in? And so she kind of talks how coaching has helped her stay more accountable, and she wants to help this person stay more accountable and brings them onto her team as a coach. So again, I'll share that training with you guys. It was a really awesome training. She said like the top 5 things she's done to get to where she is. And I will say that she runs her business completely on Instagram. So those of you who are on Instagram and are working to build an Instagram, this is an awesome training specifically for you, but then also the rest of you to hear some other of the stuff too. So sorry, I got a little off track. Rachel, next question. How many hours a day would you say you work your business?
Well, that does change every day because I have a 1-year-old daughter, but I would say at minimum, probably cumulatively 3 hours every day at minimum. That's not at once. It's literally in 10 to 15, honestly, sometimes it's like 1-minute sections of time spread out throughout the day. And that starts all the way from the beginning of my morning when I start my workout, and I record a few moves to put into my stories every single morning. That's kind of my routine. I wake up, do my workout, get done with my workout, record 3 moves or record 3 moves while I'm working out. Then my daughter wakes up, and while I'm giving her a bottle or while she's having a bottle, I'll edit my 3 quick little moves, and then I'll put them up on my stories. A lot of times I'll record us doing cheers with Shakeology or her bottle, and that will be my next story. So that's how I'm getting my product on my story. So I kind of start the day off with that. If she's content and happy and like playing with her toys, I'll start with a few minutes that way of starting with my power hour of the ads and invites and stuff like that. I try to get my power hour done as early in the day as possible because it is the most critical business activity to possibly do, in my opinion. If you want to legitimately grow a business, try to get that done right away. And then the rest of the day, I usually have an idea of what I want my post to be. but I'll kind of do it as we're playing or as she's napping or something like that. But we'll kind of go through those little minutes when she lets me. And then I usually kind of end the day with a little bit of work too. So it's kind of like I do a lot in the morning, as much as I can over nap time. And then I finish up the day at night. But it's probably 3 hours minimum on long days, maybe 5 hours, I would say. But again, it's spread out throughout the day. In a perfect world, I would love to work all at once and get it over with, but that's just not where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I think that's really awesome to hear too. I've heard like 7-figure income earning coaches from some who work 8 hours a day. That's just their choice. And then other 7-figure earners who only work 2 to 3 hours a day. So it's just kind of being productive with your time, being disciplined with that time that you do have, and kind of, what you're focused on. So I think that was really awesome to hear. And I know we're going over time. I try to keep these under 30 minutes. But you guys, building a team is how you, like, commission is awesome when you're getting like customer after customer sign up. You can earn some decent money off of commissions. But to get that indirect income from building a team is like unlike anything ever. I remember my first $1,000 a week paycheck, and it was almost entirely from like helping my team, you guys, to be successful through getting that indirect commission. And it's amazing. So you have to be building a team for that long-term monetary success, so you're not constantly having to chase down challengers. You have to be adding on coaches. And with that, I want you to know that you are not responsible for your coach's success. And Rachel's going to talk about that briefly, but we are very actively working on putting this new coach mentorship together. So it's going to be, everyone will have access to it, and you can just plug your new coaches into it. So all you have to do is, get them signed up, do whatever, tell them, hey, you're going to be sent a new coach welcome email from corporate. Check that out. That has some really good starter information, and then plug them right into this new coach mentorship. Like, we're having everything set up for you. So you just need to help them, check in on them, be available for them. But you need to know that you are not responsible for your coach's success. You can't work for them. They have to put in the work. And it took me a long time to be okay with that, because I would feel so bad when someone would quit. But then I would be like, you know what? They never responded to me. I tried so hard. I'm sick of dragging people along. I know where I'm going, and I'm not going to let them, hold me back. And so real quick, I see a couple questions here. Jordan, I hope we kind of answered your question of how to present it, but if you have any more questions, definitely ask or whatnot. And Kim said, I have a hard time inviting someone to coaching if they're not already a customer of mine, especially because I haven't hit a huge financial milestone yet. Any advice? I would, again, it's easier to start with, your kind of warm market. And for the longest time, I would talk about how, oh my gosh, all these girls are seeing like whatever success. I'm so excited to be part of this company that I know is in my control. The work that I put in, I know where I'm going. Do you want to come with me, kind of thing? So like, you don't have to have any like huge success. Just know where you want to go and say, who's on board with me? Who's going to do this with me? But again, there's nothing wrong with doing that funnel system of customers, just going hard at getting customers and transitioning them into coaches. There's nothing wrong with that. But Rachel, did you want to elaborate on bringing on new coaches, or Kim's question either?
Yes, Kim, another thing to add to your question is sometimes, like, I'll do like what Megan says or what I said before. Occasionally I will see somebody in a cold market or in a like my lukewarm market, and I'll see them just like posting post after post of like, they share recipes, that share feature. They're sharing recipes, they're sharing like workouts, they're sharing like literally anything that I can connect to. And sometimes I will send them a message. It doesn't always work, but at least I'm planting a seed and making a connection with them. But I'll say like, hey, this is who I am. I came across your profile and you really caught my eye, and this is why. You you share recipes, you share blah, 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 and you're such a rock star at sharing healthy living tips. I'm an online like health and fitness coach, and is this something that you would be interested in as well? So even if it's just like a friend of yours that's not already a customer, if you reach out to them, you say, oh my gosh, you share such awesome, valuable information. Have you ever considered being like an online health coach, or are you are you a health coach too? Like, you share such cool content. That has worked as well too. So it's definitely like you have a general approach, but it's definitely a case by case situation, because every single person is going to be a little bit different. But that's also helped me too. And then going back to what we were talking about before with Megan, and like, you can't be responsible for your coaches. There was a training, and I'll share the exact training wherever Megan shares that other training. It's from Bonnie Engel, who's one of the people that I absolutely adore and listen to regularly. Basically, the point of her training is she had this analogy with dogs, and you're like at a dog park, and the dogs want to play fetch. They want to play with bones and balls and all that kind of stuff. So they're waiting for you to throw these things for them. And you have this one dog that you keep throwing a bone for, but it won't go and get the bone and bring it back to you. So you're just waiting this whole time. Meanwhile, there's this whole herd of dogs at this dog park who are like waiting for you to throw the ball for them, and they could bring the ball so far. They're just waiting for you, but you've spent all your time on this one dog because you really think this dog could be like the prime dog. Basically, the point of that, and she really does use a dog analogy, is you can't make somebody do it. You can't. You can throw the ball for them, as in like give them information, give them training, give them belief, but you can't make them bring the information back to you. And one of Bonnie's biggest things she does is she says, like, if they bring me back information, basically like if they go out and do work and they come back for more learning and they want more and they're hungry, then I will absolutely throw the ball for them all day long. But if they don't bring it back to me, I'm not going to spend all my time waiting for them, because all these other dogs over here are waiting for me to learn from me and to grow too. So that was an awesome training. And I wholeheartedly mean this, that when I heard that training, my mentality shifted, because before that I had my key like star people up here that I thought would be amazing. And I kept waiting for them, and they'd say they're interested, and I'm going to sign up. And they wouldn't do that. And while I was spending all that time worrying on those people, I could have been making connections with 30 new people, right? So once I heard that training, I implemented it, and I wholeheartedly do practice that now. I will introduce it and I will believe in people, but while they're making their decision, I'm also introducing new people. And that's been one of the biggest game changers in where I kind of started to grow a little bit. So definitely check out that training if you have not heard it already. And if you have heard it, listen to it again, because it's gold.
Yeah, absolutely. And I completely agree. It's same with reaching out to people with, it's so exciting when someone shows interest, and then all of a sudden you're waiting for them, and you're waiting when all of a sudden you could have sent 5 other invites out, or, you have coaches on your team who you want so badly to see them succeed so that you can all succeed. And at the same time, you can be sending more coach invites or spending more time with other coaches who are willing to put in the work, versus these who are just kind of, again, dragging you down, and you're waiting on these coaches. How are we doing coach sneak peeks again? We haven't really done them a lot lately. I know Rachel and I were briefly talked about the Snoop group stuff that they talked about at Super Saturday. And so we've been talked a whole lot, but don't be afraid to host them on your own too. So maybe you pull in a training that you saw from someone else about their story. Or Kelsey said she's running one on Monday. If you want to team up with a couple other people, you can absolutely run them yourself, even if you only have a couple people in there. You can do a Zoom call. You can, often I used to call people on the phone, like, hey, do you have 10 quick minutes to talk on the phone? I would, do my little elevator pitch and do it that way. So yeah, you can absolutely do it on your own. But if we do put one together, or if anyone puts one together, feel free to share it so people can get in there with you, yeah, that's totally fine too. Awesome. This was a really awesome training, you guys. So I hope that you kind of have a bigger picture, are ready to start growing your team, you know, whether it's through customers and then coaches, or if you're just really excited and you have a list of people that you can start inviting to join you on this coaching opportunity. And again, you don't have to know all the answers. You just have to know where you want to go and invite people to join you. I see the big picture in this business. I'm really excited. I'm willing to work. Are you ready to come with me? Do you want to join me on this journey? You know, whatever it may be, I don't know all the answers yet, but I'm going to find them out, kind of thing. And just be confident. The more confident you are, like, there are some times where I'll turn on like some whatever pump up song. Like I just really like Uptown Funk You Up. So sometimes I'll just turn on that song, pop some Energize, and I'll be like, I'm just like so much more confident. I'll be like, blah, 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 going away at people. So I'll stop blabbing. This was an awesome call. I'm super excited about it. We'll share those training videos. I'm actually going to share mine in the Dynasty Builders page. Remember, you have to hit Success Club this month in order to stay in that page. We have a lot of good stuff coming up too. Other than that, does anyone have any questions before we hop off at all? Awesome. Well, thanks so much, guys. Have a good rest of your night, and we'll talk to you later.